What's up, guys? Welcome back to the last installment of our YouTube channel. It's been a great run. Here we are, June 10th, Friday before actually, it's just the last day of school. So we're doing it now. Let's get into it.
So here's a quick description of Mrs. Deal. There have been some changes since the beginning of the quarter. We simplified the design goals to just deal cards to different players instead of dealing flop, river, and turn, and the rest of the rules for poker. Due to the time constraint, we believe that coding the game is relatively simple yet time-consuming task, and doesn't really add to the electrical engineering understanding of this project. Further, the camera will recognize what card is dealt in real time and combine that with the info about the motor's location and game rules to know where each card is going. So an ace of hearts dealt to a player 1, 2 of diamonds dealt to player 2, etc. And we'll display each player's hand in real time on a website. Here are some milestone 4 summary and a milestone 5 goals. So far, our base, stand, card holder, and system are all 3D printed and assembled. And the motors for the card dispenser are hooked up and functional, and they operate off of a push button. Also, the card recognition with the ESP32 cam is integrated with the rest of the system, and the card dispenser and the cam are all sequenced so that they work in the right order. And we're using the ESP32 camera board to control the motors and the server communication. For milestone 5, we hope to implement the rotating base with a servo motor so that we can deal cards to different players. And we also want to make sure the server looks nice on the browser and can show what players get what cards.
An update on our card recognition. We have successfully taken template images for a lot of different cards, building up our library now that we've gotten our full assembly put together, because we have the lighting conditions and the distance all finalized and staying constant with each of the images. So we took template images and we can successfully take an image and have our code output the correct identity of it. So we got that working for the last milestone, and this milestone was integrating that with the push button that has the motors spit out the card, and then it knows to take the image after that and then run the card recognition. So we were able to do that with the new template images we just took.
Some design changes, specifically for our platform 3D printing. We were able to make it much shorter than originally planned, because we can get much clearer images from that, as well as the legs themselves were taking a little bit of the space, so we got rid of one of them. So we had some more space for our ESP32, as well as the H bridge that we need to put in the system as well.
We also found that our card recognition worked well enough with taking images from this distance. So we didn't need it to be any bigger than this, because we thought that it wasn't going to give us high enough quality images, but it is satisfactory. So this is totally fine.
So our celebrity interview was with Chase Correa from the Smart Scale Group. And he really helped us out regarding the process behind HTTP posting an image to a Tornado server where the card recognition is taking place. And so he was helpful in explaining the client side and server side code, some of the bugs we were having, some things we weren't able to accomplish, we were able to accomplish after speaking with Chase. So huge thanks to Chase and the Smart Scale Group.
Big shout out.
And after our consultation with Chase, we were able to successfully integrate the ESP32 cam with the card recognition. So that helped us make huge steps forward.
Learning is still cool, even on the last day of your senior year. One thing that we want to talk about is including, since we're initiating the process with a button, we made sure to include a debouncing operation to make sure that anytime there was accidental fluctuations with the button pushing, we included code to be sure that we actually meant to push the button and there's an actual trigger for the rest of the functionality. So here's what the button looked like that we're using, and then some of the code that we're using to do the debouncing to make sure we actually wanted to trigger the next thing to happen.
Bill of materials and Gantt chart. So we don't have any extra items on our bill of materials, although we do have definite materials that will be in the final design, including the batteries, the battery holder, the small servo generic motor, as well as the hobby motor gear, which is a DC motor. So those would end up in our design as well. And we have a Gantt chart right here, which all leads up to, in fact, today. That's right. And everything maybe kind of almost complete.
Yeah, definitely.
Lastly, questions. No one will see this video. Make a comment down below if you see this video. The process that we actually have is a lot slower than we would really want it to be, as far as getting the card out, taking a photo, and then sending it out would kind of be a little too slow for an actual game of poker. Is this something that—
To note that the image capture actually is pretty fast. It's the whole, like,
Just the
process of the dispensing. It wasn't the image capture that is slow, but in general, everything's slow. So
Precisely.
yeah.
Is this something that you see yourself using for either small tournament settings, or just wanting to have a record of everyone's cards and everything, so an onlooker can enjoy the game as well? Secondly, do you have any suggestions for refining our motor control? It's a little inconsistent, unfortunately, specifically the DC motors. So any suggestions for dispensing the card physically would be very helpful.
There we go. Make sure, like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Thank you.
Go team.